we go. 2 days, bro. It's fine. It's fine. As spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have... Oh, as we load into a very new map that we have yet to experience together. We will... Let's go. We will hear on the CranKy Ducklings. In the top right-hand corner, we have our orange Terran player in MilkiCow alongside his partner, the red Zerg, Wayne. We have Milky Wayne, or Wayne Cow. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the duo we've been following this entire time. We have the Croatian Protoss. We have the Terran, the Mexican Terran, if you will. He's one of our own now. It is uThermal and Goblin. Or Goblin and Salsa Tequila, papi. Yeah. Let's go. Is that all has been happening while having while he's been in Mexico? Maybe. He likes it, man. He likes it. For those that are unaware, uThermal has been living in Mexico for quite some time now. Did move over and has been there for, I want to say, the better part of 2024, I want to say. So I hope he's been enjoying his time. Hope he has been enjoying. As we settle into Undercurrent as our next game, a map I've never seen before, I'll be honest. I've never seen this map before. We do have a pocket expansion available, which MilkiCow is taking himself. We do have our naturals, and the natural base is looking relatively secure. There is a ramp coming in towards this center location, a very narrow ramp as well, so very defendable here on your, or at your natural bases. There is another entry point here towards the right hand side, multiple entry points actually, a wider ramp on the right, which is vulnerable to or open to run bys and Hellion harass, for example, and also a much wider entry point here towards the natural itself. Interesting. Likewise, very exposed gold bases on the low ground, gold base, third base as well, wide open in the center of the map. I see a lot of wide ramps, very spread out. We have some Zonagas as well, also out in the open. It looks very difficult to actually engage in the center of the map as you are so vulnerable to surrounds. Curious to see how this plays out. Honestly, I'll be honest, I kind of like the way this map looks. I miss it. I miss these big wide open maps, which are now a rarity in 1v1. But for now, the Reaper does slip in, disrupting some of the production, getting an SCV, getting a Marine, and even trading well against these Lings. Not bad. The Reaper should eventually go down without getting a full scout to get eyes on the natural base. Going for another SCV. Oh. As uThermal, he does not quite get one. Not yet. Going back into the main. Oh my god. Going back to the main base. I mean, this is the downside of opening up Marine, is your army is less mobile. And the Reaper just having fun, dipping in between the bases. Getting another SCV. The Adept has arrived. Oh, getting a Marine. Link speed is about to finish, but can he get the SCVs? No, they're weak. They solved up earlier, and another 2 SCVs go down. Massive pickups. Oh, this is getting out of hand. This is getting a little bit out of hand here. Bjorn, is that you? Papi, you know what this is? This is the power of some salsa and some tequila. This is oh my god. uThermal is gaining the power of Juanito. Crazy. The Reaper's still alive, by the way. It should finally go down as the Hellions have arrived, and they get one more volley of there. We go. Finally, the Reaper does fall. Oracle does arrive, getting more SCV kills. The chaos just continues. As Goblin, he has arrived. He's like, mate, you've been having fun with this Reaper the entire time. Now it's my turn to have fun as his SCVs are falling left and right. No anti-air. The Oracle's about to run down Renji. And Wayne, he tries to counterattack, alas with Mass Ling. There are Hellions to defend, another Oracle as well. The first one survives. And this has just been a shaky start for at least MilkiCow. Wayne, his own mineral line has been left for the most part relatively untouched. It's MilkiCow has been struggling. As he's just been bullied. Just been bullied the entire time. By the Reapers and by the Oracles. Ay, ay, ay. Leave the cow alone. Ah. He just wants milk. As we do have uThermal going for Blue Flame. Blue Flame is on the way. The Lings, they go for the dive. Trying to collapse you on top of the Hellions. They do get on top of the Stalkers at least. Oracles activate their pulsar beams. The Lings are going to be cleaned up. The Hellions, they stand their ground. And the attack doesn't really get much done. The workers survive. uThermal and Goblin, they defend well. And I'm a little bit afraid to look here at the drone count. Here we go. Okay, we have 41 SCVs and 44 probes against 29. Oh no, it has. We had 29 SCVs. The Oracle comes back in. Viking has arrived, but Viking will defend. That's still another couple of SCVs falling here. Ay, ay, ay. Far too much damage. Likewise, Hellions, they bust into the mineral line. And Wayne and MilkiCow, they've just been pulled apart. They just cannot keep up. They cannot maintain these losses. Not anymore. Massive damage here in the natural. The drones, they get roasted. Hellions are being cleaned up. The damage has been done. Wayne, he's down to 23 workers. Ay, ay, ay. One base saturation. I mean, pretty much. Like 1.5, to be generous. 1.5 base saturation here for Wayne. Trying to be active. Trying to have some kind of presence here. But the aggression does not stop. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we have yet to lose an Oracle. Yeah, the Oracles have not gone down. There's still 3 of them. Setting up stasis traps. Hellions, they bust into the mineral line. Once again, nothing to defend. As Wayne has been stuck re-droning, he has no Lings. Lings just trying to engage, but not behind the mineral line. Not like this! Oh my god. The Hellion volleys are brutal. Shots go up, Lings go down. Vikings are forced to land. Hellions are cleaned up, but again, at a cost. And since uThermal and Goblin have map control, they go for the gold. They're going for the gold base. They can't afford to. Likewise, Goblin getting his own 3rd base up and running. You see MilkiCow attempting his own counterattack with their static defense. There's a cannon, there's a shield battery, the stasis trap as well. They are prepared. Both Wayne and MilkiCow just being bullied back. Wayne taking into Ling Bane. Just now, this is what, a 7-minute high? Sorry, 7-minute lair? Ay, ay, ay. Very late lair here from Wayne, but I mean, he just hasn't had the money for it. Hellions, once again, they get in. uThermal just lubing up this Hellions every time. Last series, this series as well. Oh my god. And again, even though he's losing all these Hellions, he can rely on Goblin to maintain map control. He can rely on Goblin here to keep the rest of the army busy. So uThermal, he can get away with just throwing away all these Hellions. Behind this, we have +1, combat shields. Oh, it is going to be mech from uThermal. Thor production on the way. Let's go. The Thors are coming. No one is safe on the blue flank. No one, Pappy. Not even Terran. Not even Terran. And it's from here, Goblin and uThermal, they're certainly out of control. They shut down the Lings, the Bio. There's barely an army standing. There's 2 Marauders, 2 Marines, and GG gets called. uThermal and Goblin, they take game number 1. GG. This was one of the more dominant games that we've seen, I'll be honest. This was one of the more one-sided games where from the very beginning, the Reaper harassed, the Oracle harassed, all led into the eventual Hellion harass as well. Wayne and MilkiCow, they did attempt a counterattack, if you recall, after their initial defense, but they got completely shut down. And that was really the only moment that both Wayne and MilkiCow had to be active on the map. Outside of that, they were just crippled. They were just crippled time and time again. It was quite impressive. Very impressive there by both uThermal and Goblin. So very impressive aggression and defense and just play in general. And with that, that leads us into game number 2. But again, that was even more dominant than the previous matches against more lesser known players. Crazy. that was crazy. That was scary. I'm sure the map itself plays into it a little bit. We spoke about how much more open Underwater was. I think it was called Underwater. How much more open it was, how much more vulnerable the bases are. All came together in the end, and With that, our duo, they're down in the series. Can they bounce back? As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg in Wayne. And we have our teal Terran in MilkiCow. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue Protoss in Goblin, and we have the yellow Terran in uThermal. Here we go. Looks like game 1 was in the Americas, game 2 and game 3 are going to be on Europa instead. As you can see, uThermal switch up his name. Let's go. Yeah, shout out to Mark for showing up earlier. I'm sure his content's going to be on YouTube soon as well, if not already. His matches, I mean, from his POV. As uThermal, he was streaming his POV on his own channel. So if you want to see that perspective and the banter between uThermal and Goblin, that's all going to be available. You know, MilkiCow going for a very interesting opener here. 2 racks. 2 racks Reaper. A pseudo proxy 2 racks. Let's go. As the second rack is hidden on the right hand side. Again, after receiving all that aggression, after receiving the full brunt and the full force of uThermal and Goblin, looks like both MilkiCow and Wayne want to be the aggressors this time. They want momentum on their side instead. Meanwhile, we do have our double gas opener at, sorry, my apologies. We have our racks into factory opener here by uThermal. CC on the high ground. Very safe play. As they did scout across the map. Link speed has begun. This was a later hatchery timing for Wayne, bear that in mind. Earlier link speed, earlier queen, earlier link aggression. So as I mentioned before, Wayne and MilkiCow, they do want to be more aggressive this time. As link speed is going to be finishing up real quick. And that leads into this more defensive setup here. Hellions are amassing for uThermal. Likewise, Goblin staying on one base as well. Throwing down his second gateway and throwing down his Stargate. So both uThermal and Goblin taking this very seriously. Little do they know that, of course, Wayne is taking a third base. Likewise, MilkiCow also expanding. They do move out. Reaper gets cleaned up in the main. MilkiCow diving into the natural, gets a full scout as well, gets eyes on the Stargate. Is aware of the Oracle. And gets a probe. Gets one. Wayne's a thread and a dive. Behind this, Wayne is droning. Wayne, he's not going for a Ling Flood. They're just trying to scare their opponents while they focus on their economies. And so far, it's working. So far, Goblin's still on one base. The player saturating. Third CC's on the way for MilkiCow. And Wayne has just been droning this entire time. Queens are in position. Oracle gets zoned away. Likewise, Reapers into the main, just keeping Goblin busy. Yeah, so far this time, a much more uncomfortable start for Goblin and uThermal. I feel like we need to come up with a team name for them. We need... The Ublin. The Go Thermal. The Comal. That'd be fun though. I remember players used to do that, where when playing in these kind of tournaments, that would sign up with their team name. Some would be creative, some less so. This reminds me of when we used to cast the Latin American 2v2 tournaments. And we casted a team called Los Anti-Mancos. Oh no. Not like this. There's a duct tape about that. I'll always remember. Los Anti-Mancos, papi. Ay, ay, ay. And Los Lamas. Oh no. Shot does go off. So far, uThermal and Goblin not finding a way in. Scan into the main, reveals the production setup here, the bio. Second reactors are on the way. They're building up. And again, this time, Goblin and uThermal, they haven't really dealt any economic damage. Not yet. As we do have Wayne getting into his own roach production. uThermal has been building up that Hellion count over time. He's got how many? He's got 13 Hellions. Goes to the dive. Blue Flame is done, but the roaches, they do deflect. Oh, I love the stim positioning. So far, so good. Oracles, they threaten to dive into the main, but the Cyclones are ready. So far, good defense here by Wayne and MilkiCow. They hold. uThermal forced to rotate. Looking for another way in. So far, Wayne and MilkiCow, they're keeping up with the rotations. They get here just in time. Yeah, just in time. They are ready. And after a disastrous game 1, here in game 2, they can actually play some StarCraft. They can actually have a decent economy, get into a 4th expansion here for Wayne, 3rd base already for MilkiCow as well. As we mentioned before, they kind of faked out a more aggressive opener, and both Goblin and uThermal, they've been stuck at home, and they've been playing it too safe. They're just now trying to expand. 3rd CC is on the way for uThermal. They are falling behind economically, macro-wise. They have to get some damage. Cyclone goes down. Stim is not yet done for MilkiCow. Hellions going for the Marines. Oh my god. Marines, they do stack up. Not a bad trade here from uThermal. Can he escape though? Yeah, that's positioning. Marauders, they do start a step. They do punish. Somewhat at least. Thermal force retreat. We can work out. uThermal does have a higher SCV count than his opponent, but he's oversaturated. You can see here just heavily oversaturated at the natural. He needs a 3rd. Yo, bueno, hello, Pi. Hello. ¿Qué tal? Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Good to see you. Pi also did compete in this tournament. I believe was teaming up with Rotterdam, if I recall correctly. Who was a Hellions, they finally do make their way to the mineral line. SCVs are getting roasted. Hellions are going down, but remember, back at home, uThermal is building up his tank counts. Tanks are on the way. Oh, the stasis. Stasis goes off. Catching up some roaches. But we've all been building up to this moment. Remember, Wayne and MilkiCow, they got away with faster 3rd bases, with faster 4th bases, better saturation, better economy. And now Wayne has a larger army. Ooh. But still cannot quite push into these tanks, as respected. The tanks are set. Oh! Goblin does hold. Keeps up with the drop. So far, so good. They're holding. Meanwhile, Wayne taking up. Hydrogen on the way. Hive as well. He wants that tank, he's gonna get it. As they connect, tank within range of the planetary. Just the one. MilkiCow dropping into the main. uThermal out of position, very mobile army. Forced to pull away. And uThermal and Goblin, they're on the back foot. Damage is being done. Oh. As he sims in, trades well against the Stalkers. Likewise, Planetary does hold. Double drop into the main. Into Goblin's main. Not bad. And MilkiCow saying, yo, I can drop too. You're not the only one, Mark. Not the only one. Havoc, it is going to be a one-way trip, though. Goblin does reposition. Drop back in the main base is being cleaned up in the main of uThermal. Shadow and Goblin, they're holding. They will shut this down. Likewise, the Planetary still stands strong. Not bad. But throughout all of this, Wayne now getting a 5th base. MilkiCow working on a 4th. Getting a greater economy. Both Goblin and uThermal, they're just stuck at home. Finally trying to break out. Where's Wayne? Ah, where's Wayne? Tanks pulling. Wayne coming in from behind, getting on top of the tanks. And he will get on top of them. At least 2, 3 tanks going down. 4 tanks even. Target firing by MilkiCow. Does almost reset the tank count. As it's still just riding across the map. There was a Hellion run by. They do defend. And both uThermal and Goblin are still up against the wall. Still barely holding on. Turrets aren't quite done. And boys are being pulled. Shouldn't take too many losses here in the main. As there's just not enough from MilkiCow. It's not enough. Behind this, Wayne taking up, not just into Hype Tech, into Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Lurker Den is on the way. The Vipers have arrived. That is going to be the answer to these tanks. As well, there's only 2 tanks sieged. Oh, they get picked up. He gets 2, he gets 3, he gets 4. All 4 tanks going to be going down. He gets another. Gee, he has so much energy. So many Vipers. The yoinks. They're too much. Every tank goes down. And the base is finally going to be broken. And despite the repair, the planetary does fall. And again, after a disastrous game 1, both Wayne and MilkiCow, they're bouncing back in game 2. They're making a series out of this, or at least they're looking to. As uThermal does go for a Hellion run by, is quite successful. Getting a lot of SCVs. Despite that, MilkiCow going to be distracting the army here at the natural. Wayne going for the 4th. Does get a kill. Hellions are cleaned up. Wayne getting another expansion. Likewise, MilkiCow getting his 4th. And there's no saving these bases. Yeah, the Lurkers, they're pushing in. The Lunkers, Poppy, they're here. Moving in towards the natural. Golden uThermal out of position. Busy dealing with MilkiCow. Oh. Catching a Phoenix. uThermal doing everything he can to try to force the army back home. But the army does not turn around. And there's almost nothing left. uThermal is down to 1 tank, a handful of Hellions. Likewise, there's a couple of High Templar in the main. There is no Storm. GG gets called. And Wayne MilkiCow, they do type the series 1-1. GG. Ooh. GG, well played. We have a back and forth. That's all we wanted. That's all we did want here. And again, winding it back a little bit, we saw that uThermal and Goblin, they kind of misread the situation. As a reminder, it was a 2-Rax Reaper opener out of MilkiCow and a gas opener out of Wayne, where he rushed into earlier link speed. So it was a more aggressive start, but if you remember, they didn't really commit too hard. Only a handful of Reapers and a handful of links were made. Both Wayne and MilkiCow, they just mass expanded behind it, got into their naturals, Wayne getting a faster 3rd base, droning up, and being greedy. And both uThermal and Goblin, they were being a little bit too overly defensive. It took them a long time to be active on the map and to move out. By the time they did, it was too late. By the time they did, both Wayne and MilkiCow, they got away with their openers. They got into their own armies, into roaches, into marauders, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Did a mind game at uThermal and Goblin, and now we're getting into game number 3. Gonna be loading into Breakwater. Yeah, no, compete is a strong word. But I'm sure it was fine, Poppy. I'm sure it was fine. Wasn't able to carry the old man too far. Oh no, look after yourself, Pi. Look after it. Oh, I'm sure your back hurts. I'm sure. Oh no. Make sure you stretch. Make sure you stretch before you try to carry him. Don't pull a muscle. All good, all good. As we are going to be settling in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Breakwater, we have the red Zerg player. Oh, we have the red Zerg alongside the blue Terran. It is Wayne and MilkiCow. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Terran and Protoss duo with uThermal and Goblin. we go. I mean, when it comes to the 2v2 event, I'm sure a lot of people didn't expect it to be so competitive, right? We were all so excited and surprised to see just how many signups, not just how many signups, but the amount of teams with pro players as well. There were just so many pro player duos in the lineup in the tournament, which was exciting, but also I'm sure very daunting for other teams as well. Which did make for a much more competitive 2v2 circuit. Much more competitive. Was a little fun to see. And so now we are going to be opening up. MilkiCow going to be opening up Marauder. Wait, what? He opens up with a Rax into Tech Lab into Marauder production early on. Very interesting. As the Tech Lab is done, Marauders are on the way with Concussive Shell into a delayed expansion. Meanwhile, a Hatch Gas Pool Opener out of Wayne, standard opener from the Zerg player, but again, Marauder opener here by MilkiCow. Now, I'm curious if they're doing this just because they were watching the previous games when we saw just mass Reaper snowballing out of control, and this could potentially be a way to try to cut that off ahead of time. As we can see, though, uThermal does open up with his Raxes on the high ground instead, not on the low ground. Interesting decision here. So much more conservative openers here from both Goblin and uThermal. You can see their demeanor has changed quite a bit throughout the course of this series. Much safer here as they wall up on the high ground. Is Clem/Trigger a team in this tournament? Yes, they are a team in the tournament. We'll be casting them later on. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get to Clem and Trigger. Hi, yapping at 4 AM. Oh. Oh no, the DJ hours, papi. Ay. It's fine. If you're watching and if you're in Europe, on the one hand, welcome, good to see you, but on the other hand, get some sleep. Oh, nice catch here on the Reaper. But get some rest, papi, get some rest. Look after yourselves. It's okay. I wish Rainer the best of luck when he attempts to carry the old man. Oh no. He'll do his best. Hope he's not too heavy. Don't hurt Rainer. As the Oracle does dip into the natural, very nice harassment here as 2-3 drones going to be going down. 4 workers even. Nicely done. Hellions are deflected. Get some rest, you back. after this cast, I do plan on sleeping at least a little bit before Masters Coliseum. That is the plan. A little bit. Look after yourselves. As we have for the first time here tonight, a Banshee opener out of Mark. Okay. Banshees are on the way. Hellions being active once again has been his go-to. Going into Banshee tank. And the Hellions, they do slip to the middle line. They get a drone. They get 2. 2 workers going down. Unfortunately, lack of saturation. Do have Wayne investing into roaches early on as well. Into roaches. And of course, MilkiCow investing and doubling down into bioproduction. Into biotank. As the Marauders are being active, trying to catch out the Hellions. Nicely done. The split attacks as well. Oh. Gets 1 Hellion. But the Oracles, they will punish. Oh, can he get another? No quite. Marauder goes down. Scan does reveal the additional Raxes. Does reveal the bio. And Wayne is cutting worker production. I mean, that was a sign earlier. No drones. No drones here at the third base. Wayne, he's going for the all-in. He's going to be rallying everything across the map. I'm a little bit confused, though, because I'll be honest, we have more production on the way from the Terran side of things, from MilkiCow. So Wayne is going for the all-in. MilkiCow, his heart isn't fully in this. He is rallying some army across the map, but only some. As Stim is going to finish momentarily, Marauders are being focused down. And again, there just isn't really much Terran support here. Wayne cashing out the Stalkers, not bad. Most of the Stalkers do fall. Wayne is still not joining. He's making a 20 more lings behind this. Lair just now on the way. Very late Lair here to Wayne. But the station traps, they do pop off. They shut down the army. Ay, ay, ay. And Wayne, he's only on 2 base saturation. And now he's droning. Now Wayne is droning up. This is a big investment here from the Zerg. Dropping to the main. Doesn't get much done. Another stasis goes up. And Wayne, he just can't engage. And now he's joining. And on the one hand, this is good to see that Wayne, he is transitioning out of this. He's making 9 drones as we speak. He's finally saturating that 3rd base. But this is late. This is late for Wayne. His lair, his upgrades, everything has been delayed in favor of this. And it has not been worth it. It's not worth it for Wayne. Lings, they peel off into the mineral line. They at least attempt to. After pushing in, they get a tank. 1 tank goes down. Oh. Wayne just cannot break through. He's got that 1 tank though. Let's go. Engaging with the army. Lings, they do get into the mineral line. The miles. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. Damage is being done. SCVs are falling. Goblin comes in from behind. He gets both the tanks. And the tanks are going down. And this army is being cleaned up. Wayne has to get the hell out of here. So does MilkiCow. Or as they leave the army idle. And again, behind this, Wayne is still joining. He's still just now saturating his 3rd. Now getting a later 4th base. MilkiCow, he has been at least building up and working on his upgrades, but, I mean, likewise, his own army is still quite lacking. So I'll say that Goblin and uThermal, they're in a better position. Now able to expand, they break free. uThermal moving out with his Banshees, he has Cloak. And momentum has swung from one team to the other. I think Light runs on naps only. He has a light sleep. Yo, Sinistro, get some sleep, Pappy. Calm down, Pappy, calm down. Oh, no. He is going to be diving in. Headed towards the mineral line. Tanks, they do siege. There's going to be 5 tanks here for uThermal. 1 tank is going to go down. Not even though it lives. It survives. The tank survives. Massive shot's going to be going off on the base. Finally, 1 tank goes down. But all that for 1 tank. As from here, they can just rally across the map. They can shut down the expansion. At the same time, Banshee harass here across the map as well in the mineral lines. As another 2 tanks go down. But there's no saving the base. The base, 1 more volley. That's all it takes. Uno más. He wants it. Goblin, he gets it. 1 volley goes off. And Wayne is down to 2 bases. He's down to 2 expansions. Charge once they have arrived. They get on top of the tanks. And both Wayne and MilkiCow, they're being overwhelmed. There's some fire here on the high grounds. Let's go. The Marines, they hold. They hold the line. Technically, Wayne does have this northern expansion. Just now getting saturated. But he is cut off from it. He is cut off. This Goblin, he rotates. Wayne and MilkiCow, they're breaking out. As again, Goblin is on his own. Doesn't have uThermal for support. This Goblin, he attempts to engage, getting a medevac. Medevac goes down, gets a second medevac as well. Goblin getting a little bit too ambitious here. He's going to be punished. Stalker's getting picked up, and he's going to have to recall. Actually, never mind the terrain here. Jeez. he can get away. Meanwhile, uThermal comes in to clean up that expansion, to shut it down. Goblin gets away. Thermal dropping into the main. There is a tank in position. Wayne and MilkiCow, they're barely holding on. But just barely. As again, they don't really have much map presence. And eventually, the duo of uThermal and Goblin, they will move out. Here comes the Unsiege. Here comes the main army of uThermal. As he has the largest army out of all 4 players. That's a massive force. And once he moves out, I don't know if he can be stopped. I'll be honest. That's a hefty army. Wayne, he's working towards lurkers, but he's a little bit too far behind, as he has been losing bases, losing his economy. Can't afford lurkers. And the expansion is denied. Patching out some of the Hydras. As the armies are going for a split push, we have uThermal towards the north, Goblin towards the south. Yo, do we have Storm? We do. For the first time here tonight, Storm is here. Goblin, he has some kind of splash damage. Let's go. As Wayne, he's attempting to recover. uThermal, he's maxed. Jesus. He's maxed out. Oh, massive storm. Oh my god, the storms! Catches at the bio and almost nothing survives. The Marines have to get the hell out of here. Tanks get caught out. And now they can push. Now uThermal and Goblin, they can send it. As the storms, they were brutal. The lurkers, they are cancelled. They're denied. And no lurkers here. And uThermal, he can just stim and he can win. As he goes to the dive, there's one tank on the high ground. That's not going to be enough. GG gets called. And Goblin and uThermal, they will take the series at 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Goblin uThermal taking another win here. They take down Wayne and MilkiCow. Again, we did have a back and forth series, but here in game 3 we had, unfortunately, it felt like a little bit of indecision or just a lack of team unity between Wayne and MilkiCow. If you remember, Wayne went for an all-in. He cut workers at 42 and he went for a straight up Roach Ravager Ling all-in. He ran into a wall of stasis traps. He didn't really have MilkiCow supporting him too much. MilkiCow was focusing on expanding and focusing on teching, and that big investment from Wayne just wasn't really worth it in the end. He was posturing, but he wasn't really able to trade too well, and he just set himself behind. And we saw him trying to rush back into the game by double expanding, by droning, by taking into Hive, into Vipers, into Lurkers, but he never got there because he was lacking the economy, because I would say because of the failed all-in. With that, Wayne was just a brutal position, couldn't quite recover. And uThermal and Goblin, they snowballed out of control from there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our semifinals ready for us. We've been following a lot of uThermal and Goblin, that is true, but we are also featuring some of these other players as well. When it comes to the semifinals, we have Big Gabe, we have Hero Marine and Status going to be facing off against Clem and Trigger, followed by uThermal and Goblin facing off against Spirit and MaxPack. So we're going to be going on a short break. We need some time to set up these semifinals, and after the break, we'll be embracing those semis and the grand finals as well. As a reminder, the semifinals are going to be best of 3s, and the grand finals is going to be a best of 5. Oh boy, we'll get there. We will get there. Until then, take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your Marines, hydrate all of your Hydras, tuck in your Tempest, and we'll be back soon with those semis. See you soon. See you soon. See you soon.